We have said before that ideas start out as cute little babies. Then, if we offer them attention, they grow. But what might a cute little baby idea grow into? How often have we heard ourselves say, "It seemed like a good idea at the time"? Well, that was probably when it was just a cute little baby idea and we only saw the wonderful things that it might grow into. It never occurred to us that our little baby idea might grow into a monster. Well, that's what we do here. We are very happy that you thought to click this thumbnail. And, please let us also assure you, that you might not even regret making that choice. Oh no. Just joking. None of the ideas that we grow here are going to hurt anyone. This is all about fantasy and imagination. When did that ever go wrong? Anyway. The idea that we have today is that we want to explore a continent that we have never been to before. And, well, as part of exploring our continent, we also have to build the continent that we want to explore. That's really what we are about. So let's plant some little idea seeds, or maybe we should lay some little idea eggs. Oh, okay. That is something to think about.
Hello and welcome. We are Wild Art Fly Free and each week we build story bits. And, then, after we collect a few story bits, we put them together to form rough story ideas. And, ultimately, what we want to build is a fantasy world. That is, Opsipyadoc. Our fantasy world that is made out of stories. We have been doing this for a while and we have some plots and quite a few characters. Of course, we have some places where the stories can happen in. We call the places settings, but you probably know that, but it doesn't hurt to make sure. I hope. Anyway, we have been thinking that we should think up some bigger story ideas. We could use some general political or social ideas that will help tie our stories together. Am I making any sense? I think that, maybe what we want are some bigger stories that affect the smaller stories. Or, something like that. Anyway, we aren't sure how any of this is going to work out. We haven't done anything like this before and we certainly have never built a fantasy world out of stories before. But that's the point. Because, as we say near the start of all of our videos, we are Wild Art Fly Free and we are all about creativity. And, as we have said many times before as well, creativity is a path from chaos to perfection, knowing that perfection is fragile, temporary, impossible and prone to explode. Well, that's the key then, isn't it? We start with random chaos and then we try to make sense of it. We have lots of ideas and none of them are perfect, yet. So, we make mistakes. But then, from the mistakes we learn. That's our path to the explosive perfection that we seek. We play with ideas and we learn. We learn about ideas and we play. And, well, stuff like that.
So now we can think about if we've got people on Arrapangea and also dinosaurs in Arrapangea, we will just assume that the dinosaurs are intelligent and can communicate. So the dinosaurs will have a society and a culture. And of course, the humans who live in Arrapangea, the humans being uh, elves, humans, dwarfs, halflings, and gnomes, or the humix, which would include goblins and kobolds and trolls as well. So the humix, what sort of the interactions, what sort of society or societies will we have in Arrapangea? What sort of things do we want to play with? Do we want to try out a totally authoritarian society? Or do we want to get a very advanced, well, if you consider um, democracy, if you consider democracy advanced, do we have a very advanced society with voting and rights and all that stuff? Uh, of course, democracy is the worst possible uh, society, uh, excluding all the others. So, do we have a democracy? Do we have an autocracy? Uh, do we have like a kingdom or kingdoms? Perhaps we should play with that. Would the dinosaurs always be king like the dragons do? Or would they never be king? Or would they sometimes be king? How would that work out? We got to think about that for a bit. So we need to, you know, give us your ideas, share your ideas, and we can give that some thought. We don't have to decide right away, but within the next 25 years before our people get there from Aldla. Of course, how fast the 25 years go is really up in the air, as most chronology is. Anyway.
Okay. Now, this is exciting, isn't it? We are building a whole new continent. Just about totally from nothing. Well, we have a map, and we have dinosaurs, and we need to do something about the cold. But other than that, we are starting from scratch. We can do almost anything that we want to. He. Oh, sorry. That was my maniacal laughter. Anyway, while we are brainstorming, I have an idea. Oh. Okay? On Aldla, there was no one race that were the bad guys, was there? We were saying that the goblins used to be considered bad and evil and vermin, but most people had gotten over that idea. Well, what if we say that Arrapangea still has some of those deep-rooted prejudices? Of course, when one group of people are thought to behave badly, well, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it? If you know that everyone else hates you, then you don't try so hard to fit in and you don't try so hard to be a contributing member of society. Do you? Anyway, I was thinking. For some interesting contrasting. What if it's the gnomes who are the bad guys in Arrapangea? And it wasn't that long ago that the gnomes were like the gnomes everywhere else. Then, in the frozen north, or not so frozen, maybe. In the north, somehow, the gnomes started to misbehave, and they became disliked, and they misbehaved more, and then they became hated. What do you think? Is that an idea that we can play with? What sort of circumstances led to the gnomes falling into the moral abyss? Or was it a different group? Anyway, like I said, this is just brainstorming, so please share your thoughts. Oh. And while I am thinking about that, we have links in the description to some really interesting videos about our characters in Aldla. Please check them out. Also, be sure that you subscribe and maybe even like. Thanks. You are awesome.
Some societies, some cities, living on the northern continent of Arrapangea, and we will probably have seasons on Arrapangea, uh, reasonably nice summers, really cold winters, more cold than most of the equatorial lands for sure. So perhaps that is what keeps the people of Arrapangea behaving properly, because during winter you sort of have to or go crazy. It's a community perhaps of shared suffering. We all know what winter is like. We all go through it, and we can help each other as best we can. So perhaps that's what all these different cultures in Arrapangea have in common, and everything in Arrapangea is so awesome and beautiful and wonderful with so many opportunities. And yeah, it's cold.
So woo, as Bunny would say. Now, it is later. And we started this video talking about little baby ideas. Well, it makes sense if now we might talk about old tired ideas. Or maybe not. Maybe we should think about what little baby ideas turn into, before becoming old and tired. We have suggested that, sometimes, two grown-up ideas might get together and, well, after, we get a bunch more little baby ideas. So don't worry. We assure you, it is all very natural and wholesome. Okay, and anywho. Our grown-up ideas might grow up and, some of them might turn into giant monster ideas. But, is that bad? Well, when we want to build stories, having some scary monster villain ideas around could be a good thing. What do you think? And now, I should recommend one of our earlier videos that you might like to check out. Well, we don't have any videos about dinosaurs yet, but maybe we should review what we know about dragons. We were talking about how dragons and dinosaurs don't get along. So, why not check out the video? A spy playing with dragons. We should have a place to click, but we will definitely have a link in the description. I hope. So now. Here at Wild Art Fly Free, we really are all about creativity, so we like new baby ideas. We aren't really keen on fudgy worn out, old, dinosaur ideas. So, now that it looks like we will be dealing with dinosaurs, can you help us think up some new clever fresh dinosaur ideas? Also, could you help us out by clicking the like and the subscribe things? Thanks.